All right, guys, we should be starting up now. Uh, Happy Sunday! If I've not seen you or not talked to you guys already, obviously I saw a lot of you on the stream earlier today talking about NFL. But yeah, we got 6 games here to talk about for NBA. I think there's a decent edge because a lot of people are going to be focusing on the NFL. So and we do have some news already coming in, especially in the early game with Orlando and Atlanta. So, as always, guys, we will take a look at the news, what we know so far. And then, we'll keep an eye on it. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat. And then I'll give you guys a team-by-team breakdown. So, let's go over what we know so far. Let me scroll back a bit. Let's see. Okay, I think that all right, so Cam Reddish, Rajon Rondo are out. Reddish was originally probable, but now he is out. Hawks are starting Trae Young, Herter, Hunter, John Collins, and Capella, so they're actually bringing Bogdan off the bench. Not a huge deal, to be honest. Honestly, may help Bogdan a little bit, playing with the second unit a little bit more. And then Hawks starters, we got news that they're going to play 26 to 29 minutes, or restriction for most guys. So, that is definitely on the higher end. I think it looks really good. Obviously, you have Trae Young at the top, who had a bad game last time, but has enormous upside. Is stream stopping for anyone else? Is the stream not working? Let me know. But yeah, Magic starters, we also got news that the minutes will increase. So a lot of them played in the mid-20s. So I expect probably close to 30 for a lot of these guys. No, okay, that's good. If you go to DK's, less. Yep, that's how you view what I'm looking at here with the NBA beat writers. But kind of annoying part is NFL is going on right now, and there's a lot of NFL news, so it is a little bit tricky to keep track of stuff. To be honest, I don't think we're gonna get a whole lot of NBA news during the stream, just because we only have the one early game in Orlando and Atlanta. Everything else starts later. Like we have a 5 o'clock game, 6 o'clock, 7. It kind of goes like hour by hour. So we're probably not getting a ton of news besides what we got so far with the Magic and the Hawks. Okay, stream's fine. Good. Thanks for confirming that. But all right, let's take a look at Prize Picks really quick. Again, if you guys want to sign up, you can go use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word. I have a link in the description below. 100% match up to $100. Let's take a look at these player props. So yeah, we have Vooch at 27, Trae Young at 28.5. Honestly, I think that's a little bit low for these guys. If they get close to 30 minutes, which it looks like, then I think that is low for both Vooch and Trae Young. So I actually do like the over on both of them. Let's see. What else do we got here that I like? 19 for Schroeder, 19.5. I think that is too low as well. I know he didn't have the best shooting day last game, but I expect, this is assuming, I guess, if all of the Lakers guys are out. If all the Lakers guys are in, then not so much. But if they run like that 8-9-man rotation like they did last game with a lot of the veterans resting, then I think that is too low on Schroeder. But again, that's kind of dependent on news. So yeah, guys, if you want to sign up, DKDFS, 100% match up to $100. So let's talk about each team now. So we got the news of the Magic. Again, starters should play more. So Vucevic at 7.4K, I think looks right now like one of the top plays. Now, you can make the argument to fade him because there is a ton, and I mean a ton of good plays at center. You should definitely play 2 centers tonight in your lineups. We'll go over a lot of them, but yeah, we have Vooch. Even Capella on the opposite side is not a bad play. You have Boogie Cousins. You have Montrezl Harrell's powerful and eligible. You have Holmes for cheap, who should get good run. You have Cantor and Giles also underpriced. So there's a lot of good center plays tonight. So sure, you don't necessarily have to play Vucevic, but he is someone that I think looks like one of the better plays at the moment. Knowing what we know and knowing what he did last game, right? He had over 40 fancy points in about 25 minutes. The matchup's great, against either Capella or Collins, whoever they throw on him. So I do really like Vucevic. Definitely one of my favorite spend-ups currently. Aaron Gordon, I'm still a little cautious here just because he was the one that got limited, only played the first half last game. So I would rather just get to Vooch for about the same price. Other options on Orlando, I'm not super interested in Fournier at 5'5". You can make the argument here for Fultz at 5'1", playing the point guard. Again, 26 to 29 minutes, or high 20s minutes is kind of what I expect here for these Magic starters. So yeah, he's not the number one in the offense, probably the number 3 behind both Vooch and Aaron Gordon, but at 5.1K in this type of matchup against the Hawks are not great defensively, so I do have some interest in Markelle Fultz there in the mid-range. And then if you want some super low-owned contrarian plays, you can look to an MCW, who I expect a good run from. Again, he's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. You can take a chance on the rookie Cole Anthony. He didn't look great, but he should get minutes into the 20s as well. That's really where my interest lies, though, for the Magic. So really, it's Vucevic. That's the guy I like the most. I think you can take a shot on Gordon, but I think they might be a little bit more cautious with his minutes. And then Fultz in the mid-range, I think, looks like a decent play. If you want to take a shot on some low-owned plays, I think MCW, Cole Anthony are viable. Let's move on to the Atlanta Hawks. So Trae Young at 8.2K at the moment is one of my favorite plays, right? Because we got that news of 26 to 29 minutes. So what did Trae Young, I think, play 22 minutes the last game? If we get high 20s minutes from him, he's a guy that can go out and get you 30, 40 fantasy points easily. So sure, he had a terrible game, shot the ball 2 of 9, turned the ball over 6 times. I think he has a bounce back here, so I do like Trae Young a lot right now there at 8.2K. Another one of my favorite spend ups. John Collins at 7K in play. There are, Bogdan's now on this offense. Capella will be running the pick and roll a lot more with Trae Young as opposed to John Collins, so he won't have as high of a usage. Still think he's a fine play, but I would rather get to Vucevic at a similar price. I would rather pay up a little bit more for Trae Young. Gallinari at 5'5", I'll probably pass on. Capella at 5'3", I think looks like a pretty decent play. And center is pretty loaded, though, with Vooch and then a lot of the values. So am I going to prioritize Capella? Probably not. But again, that's one way to get different. And I think we get, mid-20s minutes from him at 5.3K. Again, should be running a lot of the pick and roll there with Trae Young. So a viable play in the mid-range. I'm not really looking to Hunter or Herter, lower usage guys in this offense. I'll pass there. The guy I would take a shot on off the bench is Bogdan Bogdanović. I actually prefer him coming off the bench than starting. Reason why? Well, he'll be the alpha in the second unit, right? So I actually do like this better for Bogdan playing in the second unit. I think he does make for a pretty nice play. Shooting guard is not super loaded tonight, so definitely do have interest in Bogdan. I don't think he's going to be super popular. And below that, I probably don't get to anyone for the Hawks. I'll try to keep an eye on the comment section as well, guys. Nash wants to play Kyrie and KD 20+ minutes. Was there news on that? Because I haven't seen anything on the Brooklyn starters. We are over 200 viewers though, guys. If you enjoy the content, would appreciate it to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really, really appreciate it. But yeah, let's move on to Washington and Brooklyn. So yeah, there's not a ton of news right now. What we do know from Washington is a lot of guys out. Westbrook, Beal, Bertans, Ish Smith. I don't think Thomas Bryant plays. Is up in the air due to a hip issue, and I don't think they would push it, so I assume he will be out as well. With that being said, there's some interesting value plays here for Washington. A guy like Troy Brown Jr., when Washington was really depleted last year, he's had some upside games. He can go get 40 to 50 fancy points, obviously, and playing a lot more minutes. But this is a guy you can look to. I would have wished he was a little bit cheaper, but again, shooting guard, small forward is pretty weak today. So Troy Brown definitely in the mix for both. Obviously, you can play him at shooting guard or small forward. A couple other guys I want to mention. Well, Shabazz Napier at 4.4. I do kind of like him as a cheaper option. He will be pretty low owned, assuming he starts, because no Ish Smith, no Westbrook. This is a guy that does possess upside one given minute. So I do like Shabazz as a pretty contrarian play. We'll see what they end up doing with the starting lineup. But yeah, Washington's pretty thin. And Shabazz is a guy that, is a high usage guy when he's out there. So I do like Shabazz as a pretty, as like a sleeper today. You can look to Rui at 5K. I think that's about right. The rookie, Denny, again, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name because I think I botched it in the video. He said 20-ish minutes for the preseason for the number 9 overall pick. So yeah, we haven't seen, obviously, a lot from him other than videos in practice. That's what's a little bit tricky with these rookies. So you can take a dart throw on him. 20-ish minutes is not bad for a guy around that price. I'm not really looking to Robin Lopez. The guy off the bench that I would consider is a guy like Mo Wagner. He's a good shooter. He's another high usage guy. And if we can get like 15 to 20 minutes, I think he's a decent play. But, are you going to play him over guys like Cantor or Holmes or Giles or Vucevic or Boogie Cousins, right? So it's like if I could play, like I would probably, if I would play like 6 centers today. Because center, again, is so loaded. But it's the opportunity cost of doing that. So you can take a shot and Mo in like a low dollar tournament. And high dollar stuff, I probably wouldn't do it. But I think that's really it. So yeah, it's Troy Brown. They're kind of in the mid-range. I like Shabazz as a pretty low-owned sleeper. I think Rui's fine. And then off the bench, if you want to target someone, a guy like Mo Wagner, it's just, again, the opportunity cost of playing him at center, though, is, again, you're going to get different, but is it going to be worth it? I don't know. Let's talk about Brooklyn. So we don't have any definitive news right now on the starters. Let's see. Just came on Twitter, Nets 20 minutes. It did. Okay. So let me see. I should go here. Let me refresh this. 20 minutes for the starters for Brooklyn. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, yep. Good call. Steve Nash said he's aiming for Kyrie and Kevin to play 20-plus minutes. 20-plus. So I would say we probably get close to 25 minutes would be a fair guess. So that does make them a lot more viable here, right? He said 20 plus minutes. We don't have definitive, but let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep an eye on the comments as well. No dramas, Neto. Okay, so yeah, Brooklyn, KD at 8.6K. We haven't seen him since a couple years ago, obviously, when he went down with the injury. So 20 plus minutes, though, is good. And, if we get 25 minutes from Kevin Durant against this Washington team, I think you're going to want some interest. So I do like Kevin Durant. I also have interest in Kyrie. Like, for me, I would probably give the edge to KD. I think he has a little bit of a higher floor than Kyrie. But both guys, again, if we get close to 25 minutes from them against this Washington team, they could absolutely crush. So I do have interest in both the Brooklyn guys there, that being KD, that being Kyrie. I'll probably, honestly, I might try to mix my lineup around, or I'll do that at the end. But KD for 20 minutes is a must, even if it's just 20. I don't think it's an absolute must, but I do really like KD. Again, I'll probably be messing around with my lineup now. Honestly, I might try to get him in here with that news. So, it's Kyrie, it's KD at the top. Other options, DeAndre Jordan's at 4.6, but again, center's so loaded. You can say the same thing about Jared Allen. It is a great matchup, and both these guys kind of should split the time. So I think they do go lower owned, both Allen and Jordan. Both do have some upside, but again, center is so loaded. I'm not really looking to Dinwiddie just because he'll be playing alongside really high usage guys like KD, like Kyrie. I'm not super interested in Joe Harris too. Again, scoring dependent. Not super excited about that. If I'm going to take a shot on someone off the bench, it would be Bruce Brown. It would be Tyler Johnson. Those guys, Tyler Johnson, we kind of saw in the playoffs, right? He would come off the bench. He's not afraid to shoot the ball. So those were the two low-owned plays I think I would look to on the Brooklyn side. All right, let's see. KD or Collins? I would rather play KD. Wizards will be pretty good this year. The Wizards will, obviously they're more healthy now. But defensively, they're not great. Now, on the New York side, right, starters got the most minutes basically out of any team with players playing close to 30 minutes. That being Randall, Alf Payton, RJ Barrett, even a guy like Nerlens Noel. So I do have interest in the Knicks guys. I do like a lot of them, to be honest. Like Randall at 6'5". If he gets close to 30 minutes again, I think that's too cheap. But then you're getting into the argument of, right, we have Trae Young that we know is going to play minutes in the high 20s. We have Vucevic probably going to play high 20s minutes. We have KD playing probably 20 to 25 minutes. So you can't play all these studs, right? You're going to have to make some tough calls. And that's something I'm going to have to mess with as well. Because right now I have Randall in. Do I take 30 minutes of Julius Randle, or do I take 20 to 25 minutes of KD? I think that's a tough one. I think it is. So how aggressive will KD be too, playing against like scrubs against Washington? So that's a tough call, and something I'll be messing with probably near the end of lock here. But I do like Randall. Again, I expect about 30 minutes from him. We don't have any confirmation, but just going off last game, I think he's a good play. I think Alfred Payton, a guy that can stuff the stat sheet, definitely in play. Again, he got 29 minutes. He flirted with a triple-double in that time. And then, even center, right? We have Mitchell Robinson, we have Nerlens Noel. Again, a loaded position. Nerlens Noel, like whenever we can project this guy for decent minutes, he's a really good point per minute guy, right? When we saw last year, whenever Steven Adams was out, like we wanted to play Nerlens Noel. He played 25 minutes. He had 10 points, 8 boards, an assist, and 2 blocks and a steal. So, yes, like I said, there is a ton of good plays at center today. I like both Knicks centers. It's just, are you going to prioritize them? Now, I think you can make the argument now with some of these studs playing more minutes, you don't necessarily have to play Vooch. You can play some of these cheaper guys to save money, right? So guys like Mitch Robinson, guys like Noel. We'll get to Holmes, we'll get to Cantor, we'll get to Giles in a bit. Even Boogie, if he gets more run, looks pretty good. So, again, if I could play like 6-7 centers today, I would, but you can only play 2. It's Randall, it's Alf Payton, it's in the 2 centers to me. I think RJ Barrett's a fine play as well. With shooting guard and small forward being pretty weak, another guy that will be, when he's out there, he's going to shoot. Right? He shot the ball 7 to 16 times, or made 7 to 16. So RJ Barrett definitely in the mix as well. I think all the main guys, Obi Toppin off the bench, viable as well. Really, like there's 5 or 6 guys that have interest in for the Knicks. Randall, Alf, Obi, RJ, both centers. That's where I would look. On the Detroit side, not as much interest for me. D Rose, that price is someone I'm crossing off. I just don't expect a ton of minutes from him. Now, Blake Griffin did play 22 minutes. That's a little bit better to see. If the minutes go up on him, again, we have nothing confirmed yet. But if they do go up, 5.2K, that seems a little bit underpriced. And a good matchup here as well. So I do have interest in Blake Griffin. With Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee, I just don't know if we have to do it. The new additions, neither looked great. I'm probably not going to go there. With center being so loaded, I'm probably not going to play Okafor either. You can make the argument for Killian Hayes. He played terribly in his first game, 5.7 turnovers. Did play, I think, 21 minutes, but there might be better value options here. And that really wraps up for Detroit for me. So, let's see. Anything more in the chat? Giles or Bruno? At the moment, it's Giles for me, but we'll see. I like both for value. The ownership's going to go up on both Giles and Bruno after the last game. Kyrie or Trey? So for me, it's Trey just because I expect him to play more minutes. How good of a play is Capella? I think he's a decent play, but again, center is loaded. Man, need a mid-price guard. Don't know where to go. We'll talk about some cheap guys. Favorite cheap guys, we'll go over that at the end. So, all right, we went over to Detroit. Let's talk about Houston. We'll see, right? This is a wait-and-see approach because Wall and Boogie absolutely crush, but in limited time. Wall, 19 minutes. Insane stat line. Same thing with Boogie. In 15 minutes, he put up like 35 fancy points. Great matchup for both of them. So this is a situation we'll just have to monitor. And if we get news that the minutes are going to go up, if we get news of like mid-20s minutes for Boogie and John Wall, they look really, really good. So, yeah, this is just something we'll have to keep an eye on. I'm not really interested in House. I think Gordon's fine at 5'7", but not really prioritizing him either. I'm not looking into Malcolm or Green. The guys on the bench I want to mention, Bruno Caboclo, 5.2K. Got him at super low ownership last game. He absolutely crushed. If they do limit the starters once again, like they're thin up front. So Caboclo is going to play big minutes. I think he played 26 that last game. Again, this is a wait and see approach, but if they limit the starters, again, like they did last game, Caboclo, I think, is a nice value. You can also look to Chris Clemens, but he didn't play as many minutes as I thought. He also shot terribly, like 1 of 10. So if you need someone super, super cheap at guard, you can take a shot on Clemens because he is aggressive. Again, he will shoot the ball when he's out there. He's a good scorer. Like he's had games where he's put up some big fancy points. So if you want a super low-owned guard, you can take a shot on Chris Clemens. But yeah, that's really it for Houston. Let's talk about Chicago. So Chicago, we have Levine, we have Kobe White at 7'6" and 7'2". This gets tricky because, are you going to prioritize them over guys like almost 30 minutes of Vooch or almost 30 minutes of Trae Young or 20 to 25 of KD? It's hard for me, at least, to really get excited or play them over those guys. Now, I do think the ownership will be lower, and Levine and White still have upside. Again, this game we saw like there was very little defense played. It will be played at a fast pace, and if the minutes go up for White and Levine, then they become more viable, right? They play like 22 and 23 minutes each. So right now, again, a little bit undecided. I think I do prefer the starters in some other games at the moment. But if news changes, if we get news that they're going to play like close to 30 minutes, then you're going to have to, reassess. So Levine and White at the moment are probably passes, but things could change. Kobe White does have shooting guard eligibility, which is really nice. Again, shooting guard is pretty thin. And whenever you can get a shooting guard that plays point guard, you got to take advantage of that. So White is someone I'm still, considering, but we got to monitor the news. Markkanen, I'll pass on at 6'5". I'm not interested in the rookie at the moment. Otto Porter Jr. got limited last game. I'll pass. Wendell Carter Jr. at 4'9". Another center in play. He shot like 5 threes. He missed them all, but, he put up a decent fantasy score in limited action. He only played the first half. So another potential center play. If you want like a dart throw center, you could look to Daniel Gafford. He is a guy that is a really good shot blocker. And if we get like 20-ish minutes from him, maybe. But again, there's just so many good center plays. Let's see. Schroeder over White at shooting guard. Dependent on news for the Lakers. Dependent. If the Lakers end up resting all their guys like last game and we get an 8-man rotation, then yes, I probably prefer Schroeder over White. But if LeBron plays, if AD plays, if the other guys play, not so much. You could go to Knox. I think he played. Yeah, Knox is fine. He's, I think, min price. I don't hate it, I guess. With the Clippers, so at the moment, the Clippers are stay away. We went over this in the video, but the starters, or everyone on the roster played. 18 players played. So unless we get some news of starters going to play more, then it's just a stay away. So at the moment, it's a cross-off for me for the Clippers. Again, things could change. Like if we get news, Kawhi, Paul George, 25-plus minutes, then they look good. But at the moment, it's a stay away. Now, on the Lakers side, this is where things get interesting because last game, LeBron, AD, Marc Gasol, Markieff Morris, and KCP missed, and Caruso got injured during that game. So they ran a 9-man rotation. Caruso got injured. It was basically an 8-man rotation once Caruso went down. So if all these guys are out once again, then I think you're going to want to get a couple of these Lakers guys in for sure. Guys I'm interested in: Schroeder, Harrell, Kuzma, Horton, Tucker. Those are the main 4. Now, Schroeder played the least out of the starters. He played 24 minutes. Harrell got over 30. Kuzma played 38 minutes. Horton Tucker played 37 minutes. Horton Tucker, again, shooting guard, small forward eligible at 5'1". If all the starters are out again, I think he's one of the top value plays of the slate just because the minutes, right? So those are the 4 guys I like a lot. If you want to take a shot on someone off the bench, it would be either Kakak or Cook for me. Both got decent run as well. But yeah, at the moment, it's Horton Tucker, it's Kuzma, it's Harrell, it's Schroeder. I like them all, assuming all those veterans rest again. Now, again, if LeBron, AD, if a lot of these guys come back, then we'll see. We'll just have to monitor the news. We'll see who plays what. So, yeah, at the moment, I do like a lot of Lakers, assuming those guys are all out. Let's see. Thoughts on Neto starting. Is he good value? Is Neto starting? Did I miss that news? He is he's min price. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. Troy Brown will play maybe 5 to 6 minutes of point guard. Scott Brooks says he's trying to keep every player under 22 or 24 minutes. That's not as good of news for those Wizards. Okay, Wizards starters. Yep. Neto, Brown, the rookie, Rui, Thomas Bryant is playing. So, yeah, you can take a shot at Neto. I'm probably not going to do it, but he is min price. If we get like 22 minutes from him, I think I prefer Shabazz coming off the bench, to be honest. Giles or Holmes for cash. That one's basically a coin flip. I think Giles will be more popular after the last game. Neto being shootout eligible is kind of nice. Yeah, but Neto is a low usage guy. Again, I think he's fine if you need someone super, super cheap. Let's finish it up here with the Kings and the Trailblazers. So Kings Starters got about mid-20s minutes. I do like Fox. I think he is a little bit lower owned compared to some of the other studs in the slate. But again, this game, there's no defense played. There was literally no defense. It was played such a fast pace. So I like Fox. I think more of a contrarian spin up, to be honest. Healed, I'm probably not going to pay 6.9 for him. Again, he's scoring dependent. Whiteside and Bagley once again out. I'm not going to Barnes at 5.3. Holmes intrigues me at 4.6. He played 25 minutes, 8 points, 4 boards, 3 blocks, 1 assist, 1 steal. That's the type of stat line you get from Rashawn Holmes, energy guy. So I think he's a viable punt play for sure. Halliburton off the bench, possibly, but not like overly excited about it. And that's it for the Kings. Let's finish up with Portland. So Portland, not looking like Nurkic is going to play. I don't think we have that confirmed yet. It's unlikely to play Fridays. Well, yeah, I don't think he'll be available too, but we'll monitor that. If he is out once again, then it's Giles Cantor. They split the center minutes. Both got good run. We got Giles at super low ownership, almost a 50 bomb last game. We're not going to get that type of ownership again, but I like both Portland centers a lot, assuming Nurkic is out, because I expect them to split their center minutes. Both are very, very good point per minute guys. I think Giles will be more popular, so I think you can make the argument to go to Cantor instead of Giles, but I like both, again, a lot, assuming Nurkic is out. Roko's a stay away. Melo did play well off the bench, but I'm not really prioritizing him at that price. And then Lillard and CJ, we'll see. They got low 20s minutes their first game. If we get news that they're going to play 25 to 30, then they look a lot better. But at the moment, I'm not really prioritizing them, assuming we get like similar minutes for the last game. So that's really it for me. Trey or Fox? Yeah, I think right now it's Trey. It is close. But I think for me it's Trey. And yeah, I will be. Let's see. I'm messing with my lineup, to be honest. So I had roughly 20 minutes in the. I'm trying to nail down KD's minutes. Said he hopes to play Durant and Kyrie roughly 20 minutes, but that quote we saw 20 plus. This is so tough. Single bullet cash core. So again, it's dependent on news at the moment. But what we do know, again, I'll go with the early games. That's confirmed. We have this news confirmed. That I'm just gonna, for cash, I think you take the safe bets which is these two guys for the studs, and then for cheap options, assuming the Lakers rest all their guys again, you're gonna want a couple of these guys. So small forward, really really thin. I think Horton Tucker, again, 37 minutes, and then either Kuzma or Harrell or even Schroeder, right? But I'll just throw Kuzma in there for now. So that's what I will go with for now. Again, that with Horton Tucker and Kuzma in there, that's assuming all those guys are out. If AD, LeBron, and some of those other veterans play, I do not want to go to Horton Tucker and Kuzma. So that's what I would go with for now, just because we have the guarantee with Trey, we have the guarantee with Vooch of about 30 minutes. So that's what I would do. Giles or Holmes, again, that one's basically a coin flip. I think Giles will be more popular. Any interest in Bogdan? I do have interest in Bogdanovich. Man, this is so tough because KD at 8.6 does make it tricky to get him with like Trey and Vooch. So this is a situation that I'm thinking about, right? Because I'm trying to get Trey, I'm trying to get KD, I'm trying to get Vooch in my lineup. If I do with those like Lakers guys, then it makes it really tough. So what I can do is take Vooch out. I know that's really risky, but there's a lot of good center plays, cheap center plays, and that would allow me a little bit more wiggle room. So, right? It's a really, really tough one. Like I said, center, there are so many good plays, but I can go to either Knicks center. I could go to Holmes. I can go to Giles. Even a guy like Mo Wagner, I think, goes pretty low owned. Wendell Carter Jr. is in play. Capella's in play. Boogie, obviously, if we get news that he's going to play more, definitely in play. Do you like Terrence Mann? They played 18 players at the moment. No. Do you plan on playing KD or Kyrie yet? So that's what I'm messing with right now. I think the guy I would take out would be Vooch, just because center is so loaded, but that's so risky because Vucevic is a guy that he can go out and get you 50 in a great spot here. Barrett, good cheap option. Yes. DK, what do you think about Waller Cousins? Got to monitor the news. I don't know right now. Favorite small forward, Horton Tucker. You guys still like Bogdan off the bench. I think Bogdan is a nice contrarian play. Capella or Collins at center instead of Vooch. you can do it. I would probably go a little bit cheaper. So guys I'm looking to, again, are the Knicks centers, Holmes, Giles, Cantor. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think, again, you don't have to follow my lead because fading Vucevic is so risky, but I just think center is so loaded with the cheap plays that that's what I'm going to do at the moment. Let's see. Holmes, Giles, or Cantor. So that's basically a coin flip for me, right? I like all three a lot for cheap center plays. Do you like Young, Bogdan, Barrett, Durant, Vooch, THT, Randall, and Giles? Yes, I do. Barrett, Horton Tucker, Bogdan, Randall, Vooch, Trey, KD, and Giles. I'm going to roll with this unless some big news comes out. How many minutes is KD getting? They said 20 plus, so we don't know for sure. But again, this is a situation like, do you take around 20 minutes from KD or do you take like 30 minutes from Randall? It's really close. It is. And then the Vucevic thing, right? I love Vooch. We have the news guaranteed that he's going to play close to 30 minutes. But center is so loaded with so many good cheap plays. All right, with 3 Lakers, if all those guys are out, yes, I would try to load up. I would try to, if all those Lakers guys are out again, I would try to play at least 2 Lakers because the minutes, right? Any news on Knicks minutes yet? Nothing yet. Again, I'm kind of going off the last game though, and assuming they get close to 30 minutes, if not more. So I do like the Knicks quite a bit. Yeah, sorry guys. I know I messed with my lineup as well, but it's just you kind of have to be flexible here with making some changes. Do you like Allen? That being Jared Allen, I probably wouldn't do it at that price, so no. I would rather spend down on some other centers. I'm gonna try to get Vooch, KD, Randall, and Trey in. It's going to be hard because then if you do that, then you can't get the Lakers guys, right? And again, if all those Lakers guys rest, you're going to want a couple of them. Best cheap centers. Okay, so let's go over center. So this is important. Getting center right is so key. There's so many good plays. So again, at the top is Vucevic. Collins, I wouldn't do it. I would just rather play Vooch if I'm going to spend up for center. I'm not playing Thomas Bryant at 6'8" either. I'm not going to do it with low 20s minutes. Montrez and Randall I like, but again, they're power forward eligible. So Allen in the mid-range, no thank you. So Cousins is a guy in the mid-range I'm considering. Now, if we get news that the minutes go up and like 25 minutes from Boogie, I'm going to play Boogie Cousins because he is just such a high usage guy. Matchup's great. In 15 minutes, he had like 35 fantasy points. So if we get the news that the minutes are going to go up for Boogie, I'm going to try to prioritize getting him into my lineup. But we also have, again, Blake Griffin, center eligible, but also power forward eligible. And then the cheap center. So Wendell Carter Jr., viable. Both Knicks centers and Robinson and Noel. They split the center minutes. Both are high usage guys. Both have some block upside. I think both definitely in play. DeAndre Jordan, viable as well. Looking like he's going to start. How many minutes does he play? I would say 15, 20 in play. And then you have Cantor, an amazing point per minute guy, got minutes in the mid-20s. Giles off the bench. Again, this is assuming Nurkic is out. If Nurkic is in, I don't want Cantor or Giles because the minutes are going to go down on them. Assuming Nurkic is out and they split the center minutes again, I really like Cantor. I really like Giles. And Holmes played about 25 minutes. An aggressive guy, can get you some blocks and steals. So those are the cheap centers. If you want to get like really, really contrarian, you can look to possibly a guy like Mo Wagner. But they do have now Thomas Bryant playing, so I don't think he'll play as many minutes. So I honestly probably wouldn't do it. So really the cheap centers for me, the guys I like the best are the Knicks centers plus Cantor, Giles, Holmes for cheap. And at the top, it's Vucevic. In the mid-range, it's Boogie Cousins. Do you like Derrick Jones Jr.? I didn't mention him. Like, he did play pretty well in their preseason game, but he's playing alongside higher usage guys. So I don't think this level of production continues. 15 points, 5 boards. He shot the ball 6 of 6. So he shot the ball really well. I would not do it. The reason being, again, he's playing alongside Lillard, CJ. The center's a high usage guy. So I'm not really looking to Derrick Jones Jr. I think that's kind of chasing because he shot the ball so well. Would not expect him to shoot 100% again. Who do you like from the Lakers? So it's Schroeder, it's Harrell, it's Horton Tucker, it's Kuzma. Assuming they rest the guys. What are your thoughts on Rui at 5K? I'm struggling small forward position. I think you do this. Whoops. That's what you do. That's what you do at either a shooting guard or small forward. Horton Tucker. If you already have him in, other small forward options, Kuzma. You can play him at small forward. Again, the Lakers, you're going to want to load up on the Lakers if they do end up resting those same guys. Some other options, again, it's pretty weak. Like, if the Lakers guys do, if like all the main Lakers end up playing, then small forward is really tricky. Like Troy Brown, not overly excited about it with only like 22 minutes. Obi Toppin, viable. RJ Barrett would be someone I would probably look to as like a direct pivot. If the Lakers end up playing, I'll probably pivot to RJ Barrett. But then again, this game's at 6. This is at 7:30. So we're probably not going to get the news. It makes it tricky, but like RJ would be someone I would look to just because he is, again, an aggressive player. When he's out there, he will shoot the ball a good amount. But yeah, it's pretty ugly. Let's see, Blake or Caboclo. For me right now, at the moment, it's Blake, but we'll see. Got him on our news. How's this look? Trey, Bogdan, Horton Tucker, Randall, Vooch, Mann, KD, and Holmes. Again, with Mann, I do like him, but they played 18 players. So if they play that same type of rotation, I'm not really interested. Thoughts on Harrison Barnes? I know he played well last game. I don't play Harrison Barnes. Trey, Horton Tucker, Barrett, KD, Vooch, Randall, Bogdanovich, Giles, Cash. Thoughts? Yep, I like that a lot. I know it's virtually a coin flip, but can you? Yeah, I'll do my best. So with Holmes, Cantor, and Giles, let's see. This is taking ownership in consideration, right? So Giles had the best game of the 3 last game. I think he'll be the highest owned. So I will rank them Cantor, then Giles, then Holmes. That's taking ownership in consideration. It is basic coin flip, and I think you go with your gut. MCW, good play. He's a nice contrarian play. He should play good minutes on the bench. He fills up a stat sheet. Any shot of Frank K, not for me. RJ or Bogdan, that's a tough one. Both should get good run. Really close. Really, really close for me. I like that Bogdan is coming off the bench compared to starting. So that one's basic coin flip for me. Guys, we're almost at 70 likes. Can we get to 100 by the end of the video? Again, I'll stay on, go over some ownership in the early game. But if you enjoy the content, hit that like button. It helps me out more than you know. Trey, Horton, Tucker, RJ, Randall, Vooch, Fox, Griffin, Giles, Haas. I like it. Capella, Kobe, or Vooch and Bogdanovich. I would rather play Vooch and Bogdanovich right now. Alfred Payton or RJ? Straight up, give me Alfred Payton, because both played 29 minutes last game, and Alfred Payton is a guy that will fill up a stat sheet, whereas RJ Barrett a little bit more reliant on the scoring. Thanks, good luck to you, of course. Levine or Collins? At the moment, I'm not overly excited about either, but give me Levine there. Guard, 4.9K or under. Let's see. 4.9K and under guard. It would be Bogdanovich for me. MCW also in play. Give a look to Killian Hayes, but yeah, I like Bogdan coming out the bench, so it's Bogdan. Man, I can't decide whether to fade Vooch either. It opens up a lot in later games if you do. Yeah, my current lineup is I am fading him. I'm super scared of it, but it allows me to do a little bit more. It allows me to get KD. It allows me to get Trey. It allows me to get those Lakers guys. Any interest in running Peyton and Randall in the same lineup? I think you can do it for sure. Yeah. Again, Alfred Payton stuffs the stat sheet. Same thing with Julius Randle. I like playing both those guys because they don't if their shot's not falling, they can get it done in other ways. And got good runs, so I like Payton. I like Randle in the mid-range. Thoughts on CJ Ellaby? Not for me. Trey, Horton Tucker, Randall. Trey Bogdanovich, Horton Tucker, Randall, Vooch, Schroeder, Kuzma, and Giles. I'm good with it. Thumbs up. We want this show every day. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yes, I will have videos up every single day, and I will be live streaming every single day. It's a grind, especially today with NFL going on too. But yeah, videos, live streams, expect them every single day, guys. I'll have a showdown video from Monday Night Football tonight. Also, I'll have a video from Monday's NBA slate later tonight. Best 4K guard. 4K flat. There's really not a lot. Let's see. I'll do my best to see if there's anyone that I like down here. How many minutes did Anthony Simons play? I think Simons possibly if they rest the main, or they kind of take it easy on CJ and Dame. Other than that, I guess you can just play Neto since he's starting. So probably the safe option, I guess, is Raul Neto. Do I really want to play Raul Neto? No, but if he starts and gets close to 20 minutes, he can go out and get you 15 to 20 fantasy points. So yeah, I guess it's Neto. Jake Anderson with the $5 super chat. Appreciate all you do. Thank you, man. Really, really do appreciate that. Thinks 3 Knicks too much? We'll see. I would say if the Lakers guys are all out, then yes. If the main Lakers guys play, then I think you can play 3 Knicks in the mid-range because of the good minutes last game. Aaron Gordon, I'm not super excited about it. He was the one guy that got limited a bit. I would just rather play Vooch for a little bit more. Who is one player you're dead locked on? Well, I would just say it's a group. I would say the Lakers guys, assuming that they rest the guys that they did last game. So I would get 2 of those Lakers guys at least. Fournier or Gallo. I don't really like either. Both are kind of scoring dependent. I honestly wouldn't play either. If you made me pick, I guess it's Fournier because I think he plays a few more minutes. Cantor, Holmes, Noel. I wish I had a great answer for you, but that's tough. You're just going to have to make a tough call there. I really like all 3. Give me Cantor, but that is super, super close. Man or Cook? At the moment, it's Cook because Cook played minutes. And again, if all the guys rest again, there'll be 8-man rotation. And Quinn Cook's an okay point per minute guy. So I think Cook. Neto, Simmons, Guy are the only guys really at 3K that might do something. Thanks, man. Good luck, guys. Of course, Gary Payton is the best 4K guard. I don't know. I don't really want to play anyone in that range. I don't think we have to. Center is where the best value is, I think. And that's the reason I took Vooch out, is because there's a lot of good spend-up guards, right? Drew Lock went off, DK. How'd your NFL lineup do? Well, I only had Mooney and Montgomery in the early games, and that went pretty well. Mooney got a touchdown. Montgomery played really well. I have the Packers stack with Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and they already scored. Let's go. So, yeah, that's looking pretty decent for me right now. I'm trying to see what else has happened. Austin Eckler had a nice start. He was a guy I was really high on. 6 carries, 35 yards, 2 catches, 25 yards. Let's see. All right. I know. That was surprising, Drew Lock, for sure. And Alex Cruz with the GOAT out, so Cook will get more run. Yes. Yeah, Quinn Cook, again, Quinn Cook is definitely someone you can look to as a super, super low-owned play. He's at 4.9K. I would have wished he was a little bit cheaper, but if they run an 8-man rotation, you want exposure to the Lakers. You can make an argument for really any of those guys. Gary Trent Jr. thoughts? Probably not for me. Is Harrell viable over Vooch? Well, Harrell did play 33 minutes, but if we get similar minutes out of Harrell and Vooch, I'm just going to prefer Vooch. DK, what do you think about Trey, Bogdan, THT, KD, Giles, Alf Payton, Kuzma, and Harrell? I like it a lot. It's pretty similar to what I have right now. Rodgers just threw a second touchdown to MVS. Hey, we'll take it. I wonder what Aaron Rodgers' ownership is. You guys knew if you catch the live stream in NFL, I was like, there's enough value. Play either Mahomes or Rodgers. Let's see. Rodgers is 17% owned. We'll take it. Now, the one guy I didn't have is Derrick Henry. And it's like the Seattle wide receiver situation. It's so frustrating because Henry either does absolutely nothing or just completely breaks the slate. There's no in between. And it's the same thing with those Seattle wide receivers. One will absolutely crush and break the slate. The other will absolutely do nothing. It is just like, I hate it. I really do. Just exclude Derrick Henry, exclude Lockett and Metcalf from the slate, and I'll be so much happier. Went with Trey, Bogdan, Horton, Randall, Vooch, Satoransky, KD, and Giles. So you're playing a pretty popular lineup. You got different with Satoransky. I don't hate it. He played out in the second unit. He played a lot, and he's a good point per minute guy as well. So let's go over some ownership here. There really weren't any big tournaments today. I'll go over ownership, I guess, just in the big tourney, in the big $10, $10K to first tourney. So Trae Young, 46% owned. That's all I have. I'm interested. I'm guessing Vooch is going to be really popular. Capella, 5%. You play Drew Lock, 2% owned. Hey, good call. Aaron Gordon, 8%. Again, I'm going over some other people's lineups. 2% DeAndre Hunter. Bogdanovich is 14%. I kind of like that off the bench. Vucevic, 59% owned. So I just got to pray for myself that Vucevic doesn't go crazy. Hilton, two TDs. Are you serious? I have him in my fantasy league. I'll take that all day. Markelle Fultz, 13% owned. So I guess my biggest edge is if Vooch doesn't break the slate and my value centers get close to kind of what he does, then I'm in good shape. I played Lock at 0.45 and Hamler 1.55. Yeah, Hamler was, he only had 2 catches, but 2 long touchdowns. So, oh yeah, 2 wide, 2 touchdowns. Let's go. All right, so we kind of went over ownership. Let me know if you guys got any more questions. Let's hope for a lazy Vooch today. Good luck, man. That's what I'm hoping for. I am. It's a really, really risky fade, but we'll see how it works out. If Vucevic crosses, I'm probably going to lose. DK, have you seen the new Snake Showdown? I have not. Is that NBA? Snake Showdown. Or is that NFL? Oh, Snake Showdown NFL. Let's see. Oh, it's like a snake draft. That's interesting. Would you play Cousins or Harrell if both get 25 plus minutes? 100% Boogie Cousins. 100%. Is Noel Robinson a coin flip for you? Yes. Because both are similar players. Both are guys who can block some shots. Neither are like amazing offensive players, but they can get you a lot of rebounds, some blocks, and putbacks. All right. Any last minute questions, guys, or I'll get out here. We had, I think, close to 250 concurrent viewers maybe for NBA on Sunday with NFL going on. That's really good. So thank you guys so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. Any last minute questions, leave them in here. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of here. As always, it's important to follow me on Twitter. I'll keep you guys updated throughout the night. We have games basically every hour, so things can change. You got to be ready. You got to be on top of things. So make sure you're looking at things on your phone, looking on Twitter, and don't miss any big news. But Taysom Hill is so garbage. Is he not playing well right now? I don't know. All right. Well, I'm gonna go watch these NFL games. I'm gonna watch the NBA as well. So good luck. Thank you guys again for checking out the live stream, and I will see you guys all tomorrow.